And when it comes to the midterms, we hear a lot about terrorism and the war in Iraq, but there are new indications it may be the economy, stupid, that helps decide the November elections. Our panel is back with us, Jonathan Alter and Terry Jeffrey. Thank you both of us for joining us. Great piece in the Washington Post today about mortgage moms. Terry, could the economy be the sleeper issue, as a lot of moms are facing what may be adjustable interest rates and high gas prices?
You know, I really don't believe it, Norah. The fact of the matter is, you look at the exit polls from the 2004 election, the Republicans were strongest among married people with kids. In other words, the mortgage mom is a female half of that equation. And right now the economy is doing great. We got 4.7% unemployment. We don't really have that much inflation kicking in. People are mad about the price of gas, but the price of gas has been trending down over the summer and is likely to continue trending down toward election day. So I think, if anything, actually, the economy will be a good issue for the Republicans, not for the Democrats.
What about that, Jonathan? Mortgage debt is up 97% since 2000. There are estimates that about 11% of mortgages by next year will fall into this adjustable rate category. It's hurt some people. Will it make moms, mortgage moms, vote differently come November?
I think for some of them it certainly will, Norah. You know, what Terry's neglecting is that the Democrats don't have to win so-called mortgage moms outright. They just have to do better with them than they did in 2004 to make some big gains. And the polls are indicating that Democrats are doing better with married women. So when the attention turns back to these kitchen table issues, these economic issues that hit people where they live, that are not Washington issues, that tends to give an advantage to Democrats, and that's one of the reasons that Democrats are favored this fall.
You know, Jonathan, we were talking about in the last segment about how Republicans are better at rapid response and sending out the emails. I just got one, actually, quoting Tony Snow from the White House. Responding to those Democratic calls to fire Don Rumsfeld, the White House noting that the president strongly supports the defense secretary. It's not going to happen, and they say creating Don Rumsfeld as a boogeyman may make for good politics, but it's not a good strategy at this time. So it appears the Republicans are going to try this, play this to their favor. Yeah,
but I mean, there he is admitting that it makes for good politics. He's just made the Democrats' case for them. This is a political season. So what we're talking about here is politics. And, you know, Don Rumsfeld, people have been calling for his resignation since the Abu Ghraib scandal broke. So this has been going on for a long time. I think President Bush and the Republicans get some points, particularly with their base, for loyalty, for sticking in there with their people. But the argument on the other side is accountability. And if the voters are assessing accountability versus loyalty, an awful lot of them are going to go with accountability.
Norah, Jerry, I heard you trying to jump in there. You said you wanted that something about Rumsfeld being a boogeyman?
Right. Well, I think there's a couple of ways this strategy of going after Rumsfeld can really backfire against the Democrats. Number one, it just looks like political demagoguery. And the Democrats, I think, look like they're playing politics on national security all the time. That hurts them. The other thing is that if Barbara Boxer is going to be the person who brings this up or tries to force this up in the Senate, you have Nancy Pelosi leading this on the House side. What you have are two of the most far-left Democrats, both of whom come from the San Francisco Bay Area, who are becoming the face of the Democratic Party on national security at a time that Democrats are trying to win swing congressional districts in states like Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. I don't think Nancy Pelosi and Barbara Boxer are going to play in those states.
Terry, do you really think that most of the national public knows who Nancy Pelosi is?
Well, they will if this strategy goes forward and she becomes the face of national security along with Barbara Boxer for the Democrats. Why wouldn't the Republicans do that? Look, Nancy Pelosi will be Speaker of the House in January if the Democrats win back the House, which means if you're a swing voter in Columbus, Ohio, and you decide to vote against your Republican incumbent and put a Democrat in there, that means you're putting a San Francisco liberal in charge of the
part of the equation, but still I think Iraq, national security, and economy are going to be the top issues.
I think Terry does make a good point, though, Norah, that they could have some other spokesmen out there who are a little better positioned. For instance, the Democrats have a candidate in Jim Webb for the U.S. Senate in Virginia against George Allen, who's a former Navy secretary and decorated veteran under Ronald Reagan. And he switched parties, and that's the kind of spokesman that the Democrats really need to make the case that they're solid on national security.
All right, Jonathan Alter, Terry Jeffrey, thanks so much. We greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Norah.
And more